Hey folks, welcome back. I know this is a little earlier than my usual video, but I wanted to try and cover the weekly updates we're receiving for Dead Matter a little more promptly from here. As such, I'll be releasing these videos on Tuesday instead of the regular Thursday release. Once these updates stop, I'll go back to my usual schedule of releasing on Thursday at 4 PM. So in this video, I'll be covering the latest from the update from July 3rd, and as always, I'll delve into a few features in a bit more detail and how they're going to affect players once we get our hands on the game itself. Alright, let's get into it. The very first thing that I'm going to start with here is the state of the closed alpha. According to the team's blog update, we're still waiting for the roadblock stopping the release of the closed alpha to be cleared. Reggie, the writer of this post, stresses that progress is being made and that the team is making the very best of the time they have whilst this issue is being resolved. With that out of the way, let's look at what the developers have been up to. Just a quick disclaimer that the team have left on the upcoming footage. This was recorded in a test environment with many gameplay features turned off, whilst other features are being developed. Carl has been working on ATVs and player-made containers, such as buildable crates that players can attach a lock to. Something like this is really interesting to me because it might seem quite simple on face value, but imagine how this can change your method of play. All of a sudden, you're not confined to storing things in an established base or vehicle. We might be able to place crates around the world, for example. Something I personally like to see would be the ability to cover these crates using things we can gather in the world, if we choose to hide them outside instead of an established player-owned location. You know, like just throwing some foliage over the box or something, just to help it blend in a little bit more. Aside from this, Kyle is working on players being able to switch seats within vehicles by interacting with the seat that you'd like to move to. Now, I saved this bit of Kyle's work until last, but he has also been working on how weather is going to affect campfires. For example, heavy snow or rain will extinguish fires. We already know that several degrees of weather conditions exist, so it won't just be raining, for example. It could be a light rain with a summer breeze, or an incredibly dull and overcast day with heavy rain and thunder. Their system for this is actually quite in-depth, so if you'd like to hear a bit more on that, I did a video on weathers and seasons not too long ago. I'll leave a card for that video at the end of this one, so yeah, there it is for you if you want it. I wanted to take a deep dive into survival mechanics in this video, hence the title, specifically how weather comes into play and changes over time as we survive the world of Dead Matter. Now, when a server on Dead Matter first starts, we'll find ourselves dropped into a world that's very early in the life cycle of the infection. What I mean by this is we'll only be, say, a couple of weeks into the outbreak. The plan is for this to affect the world in a number of ways. Firstly, loot is going to be pretty plentiful when the server starts. I'd like to assume that the focus of the majority of players is going to be on securing valuable materials for survival at this point, such as food and water, whilst also gathering materials that can be used to give you an edge later and prepare for the inevitable dwindling of consumables. We're yet to see how this will play out, but it's fair to say this is going to hugely impact our gameplay. Coupled with this, there will be a full set of seasons with weather conditions to match. Again, players will be tasked with preparing for the harder times ahead. Surviving winter is naturally going to be more difficult for us because growing crops might not be so easy. It'll be harder to keep campfires lit, and game that we can hunt for food might be scarcer. The whole shtick of Dead Matter is to plan accordingly, and I definitely think that this will be necessary if you want to survive the winter months. Speaking of campfires and surviving the seasons, a gunslinger has been working on polishing passes for the campfire and bird AI. If I see any of you hunting ducks, by the way, I will be hugely disappointed in you, and you might just end up banned on my server, alright? So just don't. Just shoot a boar or something instead. So the level design team have been working on polishing and detailing the world as a whole, with Metamoth putting his focus on caves, wilderness areas, many of the houses of Alberta, and utilizing some new furniture setups throughout the map. Dogtooth has continued to work on player and NPC models, as well as working on jerseys and other clothing items for players. That's right, all of you that have purchased a backer package including a jersey with a name of your choice can hopefully be expecting to see these in a not too distant future. Yitz has been working on some more safe areas that players will interact with NPCs, as well as more rural areas of the alpha map. Now, Reggie makes a really cool little anecdote here, which I'm excited to dig into in a bit more detail. He states that NPCs that survive in Dead Matter will claim a foothold in many crucial facilities on the map, so that they can continue to survive the outbreak. Players will have the chance to talk to, learn about, and gain the trust of these NPCs in order to potentially gain access to what they have. So if we care to speculate a little here, maybe we'll get to refuel our vehicles with a certain group of NPCs that are based up in a garage if we do some work for them and gain their trust. Maybe we can get our hands on some construction materials from some NPCs that are based at a construction site. Who knows? The possibilities here are very exciting, and I hope that this will drive our interaction with NPCs across the entire player base. As the final part of this video, I'm going to leave you with Hax's work, which has been on Gunshot Tales. This essentially refers to the audio effect of weapons being fired in different environments and the fading of said audio relating to the environment that we're firing in at that time. Again, a quick disclaimer here that this was recorded in a test environment. That's it from me in this video, guys. Have a great week, and if you're interested in talking Dead Matter with me, you can pop over to my stream on Twitch. I'll be live when this video goes up, so stop in if you feel like it. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.